So, what do you do when everything that you work towards with one simple change moves out of your immediate grasp? When you talk to others about faith and belief and spirituality, and that thing that you have brought into manifestation appears to slip out of your grasp, what do you do then? Stick with me, because our topic today is very important. Hi, this is Dr. Anita with another diamond moment. As you know, the diamonds of our lives are produced through time, heat, and pressure. But it is what we do with these moments in life that determine what we're going to gain out of a situation that could feel very uncomfortable at the time. I want to talk to you today about something that I've been experiencing, and as I addressed a couple of episodes ago, I have been in the process of making some huge, enormous life changes and location changes in my own personal life. I shared with you the fact that I am basically a very private person, even if it seems like I share a lot. But truly, to be able to talk with you about what's actually and literally taking place within my own life is something that I don't usually do. What I do want to address, especially today and this morning, and probably always moving forward, I'm never telling anyone to do what I do. What my goal is to open you to the point where you will be able to, number one, view your life differently, change your perspective, get a different outlook, and to not be victimized within your own life, but to realize that maybe what has come into your life was not to harm you, but to help you. And this has been one of the things that I have had to come to grips with in this chapter of my life. As I shared with you before, I moved into retirement just a year ago last month. And what I thought, all the careful plans that I made over a 9-year period for this particular event, the research, all of what went into making a change, a life change, came to an abrupt and uncomfortable and not prepared for a moment in my journey towards international living. Not to give up my U.S. citizenship, but to move to a place that would fit my lifestyle, as opposed to me trying to fit a economic structure that was not feasible for me, especially in retirement. It was very difficult to get to a place where I had relinquished what was behind me. So my residence had been relinquished. My belongings were all in storage. I'm in my car with my son, and we set out on the road trip, as they say, the road trip of life. And we drove through the United States and into another country, only to get to the border and find out that my car that had been stolen on a TikTok challenge whim by some teenagers and returned within 4 hours by the police department was still listed as stolen with Carfax. The international country relied on that Carfax report in order to give you access to bring your car into the country. Carfax still had my car listed as stolen even though I had the pink slip in my hand, which was issued after the theft. I was in the car, all of the numbers, the VIN numbers, the license numbers, everything added up, all my paperwork added up, but I could not get that permit to enter the country because it was listed as stolen. What you don't know is that many of the companies that we rely on don't necessarily have infrastructure in place that would take care of emergency situations like this. And what I found out should have taken an hour to call the Carfax representative, give them the information. I had the police report. I had everything that proved that the car had been returned. I took all of those things because I had them with me in the car on the trip. I was able to show them every single piece of paper. I put all of that together and they never called back. This is when I found out there is no one to pick up the phone that you can talk to with Carfax to be able to straighten out a situation that was causing me to not be able to move forward in my plans. I had someone that I was supposed to meet in the other country. I had things that were lined up in the other country. And there's no one that you can talk to. Not only that, when you send in the information to the email address that they gave you, you got a return, but it was just a form return and no numbers that you could speak with. So what a drive or a trip that should have taken 4 days at the longest ended up taking 3 weeks in 1 day at a time in a distant hotel that there was no going back because I no longer had a residence in the area that I was leaving, and all of my plans were in the place that I was going to. My son, who was with me, was supposed to be with me for maybe a week or 2 at the longest. He's missing work, and every single day when I would check that email, there was nothing, day after day after day. The hotel that we were staying in, because I didn't know when I was going to get the paperwork that I needed or the release that I needed to be able to move forward with the plan, I opted to just stay where I was because in my mind, every day was going to be the day. Tomorrow, if it didn't come today, it'll be here tomorrow. And that moved into 3 solid weeks of 1 day at a time. Had I had just a little bit of information, I could have maybe moved to an extended stay that would have cut down the financial drain that I was experiencing. I could have navigated things a little bit easier. Not to mention taking care of 2 people. My son drove me or was with me on this trip because he loved me. But we did not have factored in what was going to happen to get me to where I needed to go. As it turned out, I had to send out complaints over 3 states because where the theft took place was in one place, where I was sitting at the border was at another place, and Carfax's corporate offices were yet in another place. And when I sent out complaints to everywhere that I could come up with, and thank you, ChatGPT, for giving me the addresses and the phone numbers that I needed because they're not listed, I was finally able, in 24 hours, to get what I had been waiting for 3 weeks. But what did that do to my plans? And what, more importantly, did it do to me? So when you are working with others and giving them support on their goals that are looking like they're a little bit harder to accomplish, and then you turn around and that is you. And when you're doing this 1 day at a time, expecting every morning to have a different result, and yet that result not coming to fruition, it does something to you and with you, and even to me, Dr. Anita. where I had to really bring myself into the now. I had to utilize the concepts that I've been speaking with you guys about to be able to get myself centered. I had to do deep breathing for a real reason and a real purpose, because what I needed to do and where I needed to be seemed to be so close, but it was yet so far. And when you understand that we were just at the beginning of the trip, we'd made it through a country that I knew how to navigate, to be prepared to move to a country that I did not know how to navigate, and we were stuck. When it did come through, I realized that as scripture says, hope deferred makes the heart grow sick. It did something to me. It caused me to really have to evaluate who I am in light of where I am today, to be able to challenge my own self in areas that in other situations I could fly through. There would be no problem with believing or manifesting the outcome that I wanted. But because this thing entails someone who was outside of myself, you can't control anyone else. And I talked to you about this as well. You can't control another person. The only person you can control is yourself. And so that caused me to have to reach deep within my own self to be able to navigate my inner space, my fears, my doubts, my anxieties, the things that we don't necessarily want to deal with ever, but that are necessary sometimes to just get your equilibrium back, to get your balance back, so that you can move back into feeling like you are yourself again. If you've ever had a time in your life where you were at a place where it's right at your grasp, and yet your fingertips continue to not be able to touch that goal, it can be very disheartening. And who do you have to encourage yourself? You've got to encourage yourself instead of looking for that encouragement to come outside of you. So now, adding that into a place where you have done some dismantling of belief systems, you're forming the understanding and opinions on where you are now, on how you'll move forward at this point in life, you can kind of get an understanding on where I was and what was going on. I want you to always remember that we have the ability to order our lives, to have the things in life that we would like to have, to be able to do what we like to do. But we have to learn how our inner guidance will take us from one point to the other, how listening to your inner man will get things done much faster than if you're trying to rely on previous knowledge. You have to be able to be intuitive enough to hear, go when you hear, when it's given to you spiritually, and stop when it's given to you spiritually. You have to be able to do your shadow work, to look at yourself and say, why am I feeling like this? What's going on with me? Why are you tripping? What's happening with you? And once you're able to get to that point, you're able to move forward in your journey. So I'm going to stop now, but I want to remind you, if it's a goal that you have in mind, no one can get you to that goal but you. If it is something that you want to do, it will require you doing it. You're going to have to challenge your limiting beliefs. You're going to have to stand firm in your statements of faith, as it would be said from another perspective. You're going to have to do everything that you can do in order to see that challenge change and move so that you can become all that you need to be. If you haven't joined me yet on FanBase or NoomVibe, please do. Visit my website at www.DrAnitaMc.com. That's DrAnitaMc.com. And if you don't have your Diamond Journey Journal, please get it. It will help you as you move forward in your plans for the future.